Hello Libra, welcome to Spirit in You. My name is Debbie and welcome to your March 2019 reading. Libra, I have to apologise because there may be a few shadows. The bulb on my lamp has just decided to explode right before I'm about to do the reading and I don't have a replacement. So I'm going to try, can you see if I move around like this, there's just sort of shadows everywhere. Oh, so I'm going to try not to do all this too much. So forgive me. Anyway, I hope that you're well. Using my Wild Unknown deck. I'm just doing it in a slightly different way, so I'm having a little shuffle. I'm trying to keep the shuffling down a bit because of the shadows, and I'm going to just choose some cards this way and do the timeline, so 8 cards to span through the month, and then we'll conduct the reading. And also at the end I thought we'd have a Moonology card because I've got these lovely new cards, so I thought we might have those as opposed to an angel card or a spirit animal guide. So let's go from the top. The first card we've got is the Hanged Man. So let's put that down. Second card is Mother of Pentacles. Third card, High Priestess. Fourth card, Three of Swords. Then we've got the Star. Lovely. And we've got Leo the Lion. So we have Strength. And we've got Daughter of Swords, and finally we've got the Six of Wands. Okay, so there we are then, Libra. Let's have a look at them, and the first one that we've got is the Hanged Man. Okay, so the Hanged Man, now when you get a card like this, it could be that there's somebody that's around you that's a Pisces, for instance, so we just have to heed that because it's possible. But it could also mean that there's a sense of you maybe feeling a little bit in limbo as you go into March, just a little, and that could be for a few reasons. But also what this card says as well is that you're not to feel in limbo when really you can change the situation. You don't have to be feeling like you can't move in a relationship or at work, that you're stuck in some way, because all you've got to do is turn the situation around. And it just makes me feel like I just want to say to you, just turn it around. You're as stuck as you want to be. So allow yourself to let something unfold when it needs to unfold. Push it along a little bit. If it's a relationship and it feels a bit stuck, have a conversation. Say, well, what are we doing with this? Can't we move this forward? Can't we discuss this? And if it's something at work that makes you feel as if you're doing the same job repeatedly and it's making you feel stuck, then talk to your boss or the powers that be, or the person that's, maybe your partner, for instance, in the workplace, in your business, and say to them, I'm not sure if I like the way this feels, I want to change it. I'm feeling a little bit kind of trapped and I don't like that feeling, I want to spread my wings, I want to be able to express myself. So start the month by moving the situation around to suit you. Control the situation and don't feel in limbo when that's just a state of mind. If you have a conversation or if you physically change something that makes you feel tight, you can change it, can't you? And that's how you'll start the month off. And then we've got the Mother of Pentacles here. So this for some of you will be, again, could be work because it's a pentacle. Up here, we've got that element of that. If this is you and you're a mother, then you're considering what's really important to you at work, in your relationship. You could be in a situation where you've reached that age where you're understanding money. There's an element of you being mature with this card. You're managing your finances really rather well. But also with this card, I get, not only do I get the draw to finances, I also get it to the draw to emotions, about you feeling quite level with them and a need to keep things level as well. So with this Hanged Man situation, this almost limbo, this is suggesting, well, you don't have to feel like that. If you keep things level and you approach it with a mature attitude, then you can sort this out. So if it's at work, then it's just a conversation about you understanding and expressing yourself. Does money need to be levelled out more? Do you need to have a conversation about where the money's going if it's in the relationship as well? Because this shows an understanding of that. And so it could be your own propensity to need to talk about money in the workplace with your boss, with a partner, or talk about the way things are going in the relationship. We need to get this level in order to keep the ball rolling, to keep things moving, to keep the motion going. Then we're going to have to talk about what's important to us, what we feel is relevant in the relationship, and it requires kind of sitting down and discussing it. And that's what it feels like with this card. A conversation needs to be had where it's very open, very honest, and it's mature. There's no childlike element to it. There's, let's talk this through. That's how it feels. And then going into the second week approximately, you get the High Priestess here. And the High Priestess has got a very psychic element to it, actually, Libra. And it's got an ability to be very intuitive and to work things out when you need to work things out. It talks about, well, if there's something that needs to be discussed, I'm going to discuss it on a very level playing field. I'm going to use my ability to communicate. I'm going to also use my strong ability to use my intuition to work out a situation when I need to. It's you handling something very well. It's you thinking about what goes on inside of your head. There's dream work with this as well. Could be then element of dreams coming into your life. You may be dreaming at the moment. You may be dreaming that something's going to get better. In which case this card would say, well, if you use your intuition and use your power of communication and your ability to talk things through, the maturity aspect, then things will come to fruition the way that you want them to. And it'll be balancing the books, as it were, balancing your personal life, keeping things in perspective. But a very strong heightened intuition is here actually for you, Libra, and it shows that you've got that ability within you to communicate your thoughts and your feelings at a level where people will understand, because you be intuitively tuning into, well, if I put it this way, are they going to understand? And if I use my powers of ability, then I'll be able to communicate my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions. Because you have to be able to express yourself. It's important that you don't feel stuck. Okay? You're not stuck. So you may need to look within to find some answers, to express yourself. And it might be for some of you that in terms of expressing yourself, you just find it easier to write it down. Well, I'll write to my boss and tell him how I'm feeling. I'll write her or him a letter and I'll express myself that way. But because it's the High Priestess, this shows that there's an intuitive way of doing this. You'll know what that person needs to hear and you'll know what you need to say, because you can tap into yourself. You can use your powers within to express yourself either verbally or by the written word. You may be emailing somebody, you may be composing a letter of some kind and putting something forward that feels very important to you. There'll be a clarity with this. There'll be a consciousness that you'll be delivering. You'll feel as if you can express it in a very wholesome way, whichever way feels right for you, Libra, in terms of your communication. Be that you write that down, a poem, a story, a letter, however that comes, however that feels right for you, you will deliver it that way, because you're intuitive enough to know how that person needs to receive it, and importantly, how do you present it? How does it feel right for you to say it? Very important. And then going into the second week, the end of the second week, you've got the Three of Swords here. Now, this feels like when the Three of Swords comes out, because it's one of those depictions, isn't it? You've got these swords. Again, I'm drawn to the beginning of the month, the beginning of the first week, not being tied. And this card is also saying, well, you're not. Just know that a situation, when it presents itself, if there's a communication that's needed, you've got to do it. You can't feel bound and tied and stuck. You've got to communicate your feelings. And that might mean that you've got to confront something. You may be in a situation in your relationship where you need to talk about it, and it's maybe you need to bring a third person in, a mediator. Maybe somebody needs to come in to help you with that, but either way you do have to face up to it. Is how this card feels, how the energy is. but know that you're not tied. This is not something that's bound and gagging you and shackling you and holding you in a space or a place that feels unpleasant. Cut yourself free at any point. Cut yourself free. Both of these cards show you that you're only as tied as you want to be, okay? Move through it by conversation, by expression, by illumination, and also, importantly, elimination. What doesn't serve you needs to go. You take from anything in life the lessons that you need, and you leave behind what you don't. So if this is in the workplace and you're feeling challenged, you need to cut to the chase with it. You need to say what you need to say and then let it go. If it's in a relationship and you've been hurt, know that you can't be hurt anymore. You can't, and not to carry any pain further into the future than is needed. Let it go. Let it drop. Going into the third week now, you've got something rather beautiful. You've got the star, which shines a light on the whole situation and talks with you about fate and destiny and dreaming on a star, and wishing on a star is a better word. And I'm getting a bit of dream work here with the High Priestess, and they're kind of looking over at each other. So heed that. Know that there's something that's divine for you, that's heaven sent, that is fate and destiny, and that you actually, Libra, have the ability to change what you want to change within you. There's a creative side to you. There's a very heightened awareness as well, and an inner strength that you need to tap into. There's a creative side to you. There's an element as well of that physically, I feel quite sporty with some of you as well, that physically you're able to do quite a bit. Emotionally, sometimes you feel a little challenged, and this is where you need to push yourself forward and deliver what you need to deliver in the best creative way that you can, either through conversation by speaking with somebody, or writing them a letter, or composing a poem or something to that person that needs to be spoken to, that needs to hear from you. This has got a child element to it as well. So for some of you, you'll be working with children, or it's about your children, and you need to be able to converse with them, or they need a helping hand, and you're talking things through with them, and you're guiding them, you're showing them the light, and you're giving them the benefit of your experience, because we get this with the Mother here of Pentacles, the emotional maturity that's needed. And it could be that that element of you is needed when guiding somebody that's younger than you, maybe your own child, or somebody that's in your workplace or in your life, whatever you do, Libra, that needs a conversation and needs some light shedding on something. And you'll be able to guide them and to give them the benefit of your experience and advice. So if you've reached that level of maturity, then you'll be able to do this rather easily. And if you're still working through that yourself, then the star card, as I'm feeling it for you, will guide you emotionally and spiritually and creatively, which is very, very nice. And that leads you into part of your third week. You're getting Leo the Lion here. You're getting Strength card coming through, which is guiding you to keep that strength going that's inside of you, Libra, and to know that also it's possible that somebody that's the sign of Leo is in your life, in your work, in your relationship, you know, relationships, whichever they are, whether that's personal or whether that's a work relationship. So it could be that there's somebody with a fire sign element, or even just good old Leo, and you know this person and they're around you. And if that's the case, then Libra, there's an inner strength that's needed from you to be able to cope with all of this. So it could be that male or female that's in your life that's got this propensity, that's got this fire sign element. If that's not it, then it's drawing on the lion within you, the tiger within you, the strength within you, because you've got two cats here. So that's quite strong, and it's that element of you knowing yourself and using your intuition and your strength to guide you through with what you're doing. I'm definitely getting a physical element here, a sporty theme coming through, because I'm feeling that with the cards, and also with this card strongly, like that you're doing something and it's on a physical level, it's good for you and it's good to keep in shape. And I think you'll be thinking that because it's March now. You probably were thinking that at the beginning of the year, and now we're into March, and how do I look and how do I feel? So for the females here, this is you feeling very good physically now. It's you making some changes, your hair's looking lovely, and you're just feeling better about yourself. And on the male side of things, it's using the inner strength and getting yourself into shape the way that you feel it's right for you, what's important to you, not what's important to anybody else. So a lot of inner work is going on here, and inner strength. So it could be that there's somebody in your life that's got that energy, because it does feel energetic. So I'm getting a movement with you. Now we're getting a daughter here. Now we've had the mother feel, and we've got the daughter here of, and what is it? It's the Daughter of Swords. So if this is you as a mother and this is your daughter, that would tie in, but you can equally be a father with a daughter, and that ties in as well. Or it could just be that there's somebody around you again that's younger, this child element, somebody in the workplace, for instance, that needs a guiding hand, or your own ability at work to be very acute. Is that the right word? Astute, very articulate, somebody that's dotting the I's and crossing the T's, somebody who's got an eye for detail, attention to detail. I think that's what I'm looking for. That's what it's kind of bringing me to. So this could be you just knowing what you're doing at work. It could be you writing this letter, typing this letter, putting this poem together, this story together, and really being articulate with it. You know, composing something, writing something, and checking it over, proofreading it, and making sure that it's right. It's you finding a balance with what you're doing. It feels very helpful as well. It feels as if you're guiding somebody, for instance, then you're guiding them really beautifully. You're using your intuition to guide this other person, this person that's in your life that may be slightly vulnerable or just a little bit younger. And if it's just yourself, you and how you're feeling, you're getting the detail right. You're on point with the detail at work, in an administrative role, or just getting the detail right, which whatever you do feels very strong to me with that. And I'm getting a lot of guidance, which feels really lovely. So going into the 4th week now, Libra, you've got the 6 of Wands here. So you start off with this, well, Piscean feel. Am I in limbo? Am I stuck? No, I'm not stuck. Quite the contrary, because as you start and as you end, you're transforming the situation. You've done the inner work. You've looked in at what needs to be done at work, in your goals, and also in your relationship. Just you as a person. How am I transforming this situation? How do I change it so that it makes sense for me? What do I need to do so that I'm feeling better about my current situation, my circumstances, where I am in the world, where I am at work, where I am in my relationship? What do I need to do to make that better? What ideas do I need to exchange? What do I need to give in order to receive? What do I need to take from the situation so that it makes it better for me and that I can be a better person? That's what that feels like. And it's you in your day-to-day routine, your work, your life. It's what you do with it. And it's goal orientated, it's passion orientated, it's moving, it's drive. It's you propelling yourself forward in a very level way, but it's very transformative at the same time. So you've got an ability to do the inner work. What do you need from the situation? What does it take to make you happy? What makes the situation, the workplace, the environment that you're in, the energies that are around you, what makes them better? What makes it productive for you? It's you moving forward with that. You exchanging ideas, talking about things, changing things. Do I need to change things at work to make them better? In my relationship, does it require me to have this conversation, for us to have a two-way fair division of love, of labour, of communication to make things feel better? That's what that is. So you're starting off the month and you're moving through the month with lots of introspection, is the right word. and that's rather lovely for you. I'm just looking for where, oh, here they are. I couldn't think where I'd put the cards. Here's the Moonology cards now, so we'll have a shuffle and we'll see what energy is around us for March. See what card comes through. So as I say, these are new and they're just lovely. They're very sort of astrologically based because they're the phases of the moon, the cycles, the whole lunar feel. And there's something that I really like about them. So it's good to use different energies and see what comes through. So if one doesn't kind of pop out on its own, it might be that I've got to change direction. So it just depends on, I'm trying to avoid all these shadows, but of course, I think that one there wants to come out. And you've got the full, actually there's two here. So you've got the full moon in Capricorn there. Let's just move those cards to one side. So the end of a tough cycle approaches. So that's interesting, and it's nice to know as well that, I mean, everything's cyclical, everything moves, as we know with the cards here. And at the beginning where I said to you, don't feel stuck, you know, change the situation. This is what this says, that it's everything has a cycle, everything goes full circle and nothing stays the same. So you go into the month and you move it according to how you want it to be. How does it feel for you, Libra? What do you need to do? What do you need to transform it? What do you need to make that cycle better for you? So you'll be approaching it with I think, with a form of clarity, a form of openness, open to the idea of conversation, open to the idea of changes where they need to be made, of transforming a situation when it needs to be transformed. I feel you having a conversation and opening up the door, as it were, giving yourself the ability to throw some light on the situation. There's a lot of inner work this month for you, which will then produce the outer environment and the experience that you want from it. So you're going to be steering your own course very much this month and delivering what you need to deliver. And in order to do that, you will do that with clarity. You'll do that with a sense of, well, I've just told you how I'm feeling, so I've confirmed it. I've confirmed the way that I want things to go, the way I envisage them going, the way I'd like it to manifest, the way I'd like it to open up, and the way I feel these possibilities are. And so your ability to communicate is very strong. Your ability to do some inner work is equally as strong, for you to open up into the idea of what it is that's important for you this month. You'll be having conversations and opening up ideas. That's how it feels. So deliver what you need to deliver, communicate your intentions the way that you want them to go, the way that you feel is right. You'll always do that in a very clear, succinct way, and you'll do that with integrity, and that's how the month feels for you, Libra. So I'm hoping that it's a really nice month for you and you get lots out of it. It's very much what you put in is what you get out, what you give is what you receive. Try not to move my hands too much. So Libra, have yourself a lovely March. I will see you again in April. If you liked the video, it would be lovely if you liked it and if you subscribed as well. So I will look forward to seeing you in April. In the meantime, have a fabulous month. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye Libra. Bye bye.